We all know Darth Vader's biggest secret, right?
No, I am your father.
But what about the secrets he never told anyone? The ones he took to his grave that changed everything we thought we knew about the Dark Lord of the Sith. For instance, why did he build his castle on the exact spot where he was maimed and left for dead? And what's with the gruesome story behind how he actually made his lightsaber? Today I'm uncovering 5 of the biggest secrets that were buried with Anakin Skywalker. Darth Vader. He's not just a villain, he's an icon of fear, power, and tragedy. His story feels pretty straightforward. A Jedi hero falls to the dark side, serves an evil emperor, and is redeemed by his son at the very end. But that's just the surface. The man inside the machine was a maze of pain, dark science, and forbidden knowledge. The secrets we're digging into today are pulled from the deepest parts of modern Star Wars canon, mostly from the comics and the novels that have fleshed out his story since Disney took the reins. These details cast some seriously long shadows over the films. They reveal the true horror of his daily life and the shocking, desperate things that motivated him. So get ready to see the Dark Lord in a whole new and much darker light. Coming in at the number 5 spot is a secret that begins the second Anakin Skywalker dies. The suit. We all know the suit kept him alive, but what the films never tell you is that it was an agonizing walking prison. This wasn't just life support, it was a crude and painful cage meant to fuel his rage. Canon sources explain that while better technology existed, Palpatine chose to encase Vader in a clunky, uncomfortable shell. The suit was heavy, restrictive, and its systems were prone to causing him pain. That constant, chilling sound of his respirator wasn't just for scaring rebels. It was a grating reminder of his every broken breath. His life was one of constant suffering, and he could rarely find true rest, often forced into a meditation chamber or his bacta tank just to get a break from the torment of his own body. Now, this wasn't just an accident. For Emperor Palpatine, this served a very specific purpose. Pain and anger are the jet fuel of the dark side. By keeping his apprentice in a state of perpetual agony, Palpatine made sure Vader was always simmering with the hate he needed to be powerful. The suit wasn't just a failure of medicine, it was the success of Sith cruelty. It made him feel more machine than man, burying Anakin Skywalker under a mountain of engineered suffering that he carried in silence until his death. If the suit was a prison, then the helmet was its most intimate instrument of pain. This brings us to our 4th secret. The brutal process of interfacing with his helmet every single time he put it on. While some of the goriest details come from behind-the-scenes concepts, the canon makes it clear that the connection between man and machine was anything but gentle. For his brain to control his cybernetic limbs and for the suit to monitor his failing body, a painful and invasive neural interface was necessary. Think about the agony of that. Every single day, he had to endure a brutal connection process just to function. It is a level of body horror that the films only hint at. This was another layer of torment designed to keep him anchored in the dark side. It was a symbol of his complete subjugation. No part of him, not even his own thoughts, was free from the Emperor's grasp. This chilling detail completely recontextualizes that iconic moment in Return of the Jedi when Luke removes his father's helmet. It wasn't just an unmasking, it was a release. It was a final, merciful disconnection from the technology that had both sustained and tortured him for decades. The face we see isn't just that of a redeemed man, but of a prisoner finally freed from his cell. We're about to get into the truly galaxy-altering secrets, but if you're enjoying this deep dive into the dark side, take a second to hit that subscribe button, hit that little like button like the sign there says. I post new Star Wars lore videos every week, and you won't want to miss what's coming next. Next up at number 3 is a secret that changes how we see the most iconic weapon of the Sith. You've seen the crimson blades of Darth Vader, Kylo Ren, and Darth Maul, but have you ever asked why their lightsabers are red? The answer is a disturbing ritual of pure domination. Sith lightsabers are red because their crystals are screaming. In the current Star Wars canon, especially Charles Soule's Darth Vader comic series, we learn that kyber crystals that power lightsabers are mystically attuned to the Force. They aren't living in a biological sense, but they are connected to the light side of the Force, and they choose their Jedi. A Sith can't just find a loyal crystal, they have to steal one, usually from a Jedi they've just killed, and break its will. This process is called bleeding. The Sith Lord pours all their pain, rage, and hate into the crystal through the Force. The crystal fights back. When Vader did this, the crystal showed him visions of a different path, a chance to turn away from Palpatine, but Vader crushed those hopes, focusing on his anger and loss until he overwhelmed the crystal, bending it to his dark will and causing it to metaphorically bleed. This act of spiritual torture corrupts its connection to the Force, twisting from the light side to the dark side and turning the blade a violent red. Vader's red lightsaber wasn't just a weapon, it was a trophy, a constant screaming reminder of his own violent choices, held right there in his hand. For our second biggest secret, we go back to the site of Vader's greatest failure, the lava world of Mustafar. Why on earth would Vader build his terrifying fortress on the very planet where he was dismembered and left to die? It wasn't just about brooding. The reason is way more ambitious and heartbreaking. He was trying to bring Padme back from the dead. Canon lore in the comics reveals that Mustafar is home to a powerful dark side nexus, a cave that acts as a vengeance in the Force. Vader, with the help of an ancient Sith spirit named Momin, designed his entire castle to act as a massive tuning fork for his dark energy. The ultimate goal? To punch a hole through the veil between life and death. We actually see him try it in the comics. After the fortress is built, Vader uses its power to tear open a gateway to a spiritual plane. He walks through a ghostly world searching for Padme's spirit, hoping he can literally pull her back into the world of the living. The attempt, however, fails spectacularly. He's met with rejection and is violently thrown back into his own body as the portal is destroyed. This secret reframes Vader's motivation entirely. He wasn't just serving the Emperor. For a long time, he was secretly chasing a dark, desperate plan to undo his worst mistake. His fortress wasn't a monument to his pain, it was a forbidden laboratory built on the ashes of his past, all for a mad gamble to reclaim the one thing he'd lost. He failed, and that failure left him with nothing but his service to the Empire. And now, for the number one spot, this one is so huge it could rewrite the entire saga, but it's important to be clear. While the other secrets are confirmed in canon, this one is the most compelling and darkest fan theory in all of Star Wars, with some tantalizing hints behind it. The theory is this: Palpatine orchestrated the death of Anakin's mother, Shmi Skywalker. Now, before you say, that's not canon, you're right, it isn't. But the idea comes from a very interesting place. An early draft of the Revenge of the Sith script supposedly had Palpatine confess that he'd had Count Dooku hire the Tusken Raiders to kidnap and torture Shmi. While this was cut, think about the circumstances. A tribe of Tuskens goes way outside their usual territory to grab one specific woman, keeps her alive just long enough for her son, who has been having prophetic nightmares about her, to find her and watch her die. It was the perfect catalyst. Shmi's death sent Anakin into a blind rage, leading to his first real massacre and pushing him sprinting down the path to the dark side. It was a masterful move and exactly the kind of cruel manipulation Palpatine was known for. Of course, this remains a theory, but it's the ultimate what if. If it's true, it means Vader served the very man who set his entire tragic life in motion. His servitude wasn't loyalty, it was the chain that bound a monster to his creator. It's a secret of betrayal so deep that in the end, only the love of his son could ever hope to break it. So there you have it, 5 of the biggest secrets behind Darth Vader's mask. From a suit of endless pain and a torturous helmet, to a lightsaber that screams and a fortress built on mad hope. And finally, the chilling theory that he served the man who was the architect of his first great tragedy. These details paint a picture of a character who is far more tormented and complex than the films alone ever showed us. He wasn't just a monster. He was a man trapped in a prison of Palpatine's making, fueled by a pain that was both brutally physical and soul-crushing. But what do you think? Which of these secrets surprised you the most? Does knowing this stuff change how you see the Dark Lord? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if there are other characters you'd like to see me do a deep dive on, let me know down in the comments. I recently did a Thrawn video and a Darth Sidious, aka Emperor Palpatine video, and it's just a ton of fun to just dive into the lore of Star Wars. I, got my Padme shirt on, I got the posters, I got the Mando helmet. I love Star Wars. So let me know in the comments a deep dive you'd like me to do, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button, hit that little like button like the sign there says, and if you've got them, maybe give me some of those hype points down there in that section. Really helps a small channel like mine grow. So hope to see you guys on the next deep dive, and I'll catch you on my next review. Bye.